And now we will get to know a bit more about a very innovative project, a collaboration project. And it's about lubricating gearboxes with water. It sounds strange, but it would be a very good solution, and it would save a lot of energy if that could be a reality. So let's hear what Tommy Brandt from CEVT has to tell us about this. Welcome, Tommy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to have you here at Lindholmen Open Day.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us here to talk about this innovation project that we are running now on water-based lubrication of vehicle transmissions.
Well, looking forward to listen to it. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So, and thanks everyone for joining out there on this topic. And some of you may have seen already, because it was published earlier this summer in Ny Teknik and in various other social media channels, that Luleå Technical University, SKF, and CEVT is forming a research project on this topic, water-based lubrication of transmissions. And as mentioned, I'm Tommy Brandt, and I am a system engineer at CEVT Corporation, where I work in the motion and energy team. In this project's full name is Longer Range by Efficient Transmissions, and as one can guess, this is the focus that we have on a daily basis, saving energy, extending the range on any type of vehicle, but mainly now focusing on electric vehicles. And the quest for reduced energy consumption is by no means getting less important by the electrification. It's quite the opposite. And when we were starting to pondering what we can do in the transmission department to help saving energy, we came across this wild out there idea to use water as a lubricant, which may, of course, sound strange, and it is a bit strange. It is a bit out there. The question is, can we lubricate transmissions with water? And I think any sane person would immediately answer that question by no, it's not possible, and it isn't. But together with our partners here, together with the expertise from the academy that is represented by Luleå University, and with our colleagues and friends in SKF, and with ourselves, we think that we have a perfect setup, much thanks to Energimyndigheten and the ability to work under the FFI umbrella together to actually explore this opportunity a bit more. Because you cannot use water on its own to lubricate, but you can use it as, shall we say, a base oil in your lubricant. So it becomes one element in your lubricant. And why is that a good thing? The good thing about it is that we see the possibility to drastically reduce friction losses. So that is the main contribution that we see with using a water-based lubricant. But there are other benefits as well. And some of the key items that we see that we are addressing with this technology is we are, in fact, reducing the fossil dependency. Now, we're not using a lot of oil in our transmissions, so of course it's not going to rock the world from that aspect, but we are reducing fossil dependency, which means that we are taking the products in a greener direction. We are focusing, as I mentioned already several times, the efficiency, and with an improved efficiency, we're also improving the sustainability over the product lifetime. We are improving the range that you are capable of driving your electric vehicle. And that immediately has a positive impact on the total cost of ownership, because what we are also seeing is with the electric revolution in the transport sector, we have new sets of customer demands coming in there. We have new types of customers where the sharing economy and fleet owners comes in with requirements that drives total cost of ownership as one important factor. And that's one thing that we can definitely address with this technology. We also think that we will be able to contribute in a positive direction for the durability of the products. We'll have more durable transmissions. And that is also important for these new type of customers. I mean, it's really important for any customer, but especially if you're a fleet owner, you have like taxi vehicles or a fleet of vehicles that are shared by a great population in larger cities. You definitely want your downtime to be as low as possible. You want your maintenance to be as low as possible. And we think that a water-based lubricant can actually contribute positive also there. So it's a number of good reasons to dig deeper into this technology. But the main reason and the question that we put forward first of everything there is the extended range that we think that we can get out of this. And of course, we are taking a leap. We are not following traditional oils have been out there for 140, 150 years. And there has been an ongoing stepwise development of the products there. With a water-based lubricant, we are taking a leap outside of the box. So we are moving away from incremental development, and we are looking at the disruptive technology coming in play here. And this promotes the interconnected activity that we have here, where we immediately see that in order to take on this challenge, we need to have expertise from several different areas, sharing the same vision, coming together, working towards one common target. And we found that in the Luleå Technical University, where we have the development of test methodologies and going down to the fundamentals of the academia around this topic. And while we're on that subject, I would also like the opportunity to say welcome to our PhD student at Luleå, who started 1 or 2 weeks ago, Mr. Mushfiq Hassan, who has already been digging deep into the books and the theories behind the technology that we are about to research deeper. And of course, also our partners in SKF that will contribute with their expertise in the component level of tribology and materials in one of the most vital components that we have in our transmissions. So as mentioned, what we do get from Luleå Technical University is their wealth of academic knowledge and experience. They have, I would say, 40, if not more, years in the front line of tribological research and development. So with that, I think that we are well equipped to understand the basic and the fundamentals of what we are about to realize. And as mentioned, with SKF, the world-leading experience that they have, and not to say the least, the extensive R&D capabilities that they have around the world. So we see great opportunities there to work together on the testing part of the bearing technologies and other materials that we need to be compatible with when we introduce this media. And of course, then we are CEVT. We bring everything this together in a complete transmission. So we bring to the table the know-how on how you make a system integration of a complete vehicle system. And there we are coming into the scene with such developments as the CEVT hybrid transmission that we know from the Lynk and Co vehicles and the Volvo XC40. So with this, we think that we are promoting both a new and innovative technology, which addresses a lot of the right questions that we have in front of us when it comes to mobility solutions. We are addressing the efficiency green. It has all the right aspects when it comes to offering return on investment and cost of ownership. But we are also promoting, which is one thing which is so great about Lindholmen, the cooperation and the creative environment that we have here in the automotive cluster, with SKF being not far away from us, with CEVT being right next door to where we're standing now. And Luleå, of course, being a little bit longer away in terms of distance, but bringing their wealth of knowledge to the party. So in summary, I would say that we have a lot of great challenges that we deem being lighter than the opportunities that we see with a water-based lubricant. And I'm quite confident that with the setup that we have now, we will make water-based lubricants a reality in vehicles in the future. So that concludes what I have to say here. So if there are questions, I'm more than happy to take a few of those.
Thank you. Very interesting. I was thinking about, I mean, you're talking a lot about the collaboration behind the project, but for you at CEVT, I mean, how crucial is the collaboration part, or would it at all be possible for you to drive this kind of project yourself?
No. I don't think we could do it on our own. I mean, we're a very capable company, of course.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think what we contribute with here, as I mentioned, there is the system level know-how. So out there, we have access to the substance. It's cooking out there, but everyone has been looking at some way of forming a project like the one that we are having here now, because there are those challenges which are in areas where you need very deep expertise to understand the fundamentals of new failure modes that may occur. And to do that, we need the academy to help us. So it's a PhD student. He will be on board for 5 years in parallel with our work here. And SKF there, because as one can imagine, a bearing inside the transmission is a part that is taking a lot of load and is going to rotate in there for a long period of time. How does a water-based lubricant influence that? And then, of course, we need, as a system integrator, to look at how can we optimize all this to make it a viable solution inside a true vehicle. So we have not been able to do it completely on our own.
No. It takes collaboration. Right?
It takes collaboration.
And then now I'm also obviously curious. I mean, how far are we, from actually seeing these kind of lubricants being used? Ooh. I mean, you're talking about it as a possible concept, etc. But I mean, how far away is it?
That's a good question, and I would say,
best
guess. Yeah, actually, I have quite a good guess. Yeah. It is quite a good guess. I would say, if I'm time optimistic, 2024. If I'm somewhat realistic, let's make it 2025.
Okay.
But that's when I see a realistic chance that we will actually see this in
That's
our
not
vehicles.
that far away. I mean,
It's not that far away.
It's not.
No.
Okay. Gives us a sort of a good idea anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, and we do have some questions in the Q&A section here. So let's see. We've got one here. Water freeze on 0 degrees. Yes, that we know. And of course, how will you handle that? What impact obviously has that? I think that's
that is a good question, and I think it is one of the most common questions that we have seen come our way, and that is very true. Water does freeze at 0 degrees, and it also boils at 100 degrees. So in order to go sub-zero with water, I think most people are already familiar with the concept of having water as a cooling media in your combustion engines. You mix it with glycol and you can go down to -40, -50 degrees. The idea is exactly the same here. We will have substances in the lubricant which makes it possible to run to very low degrees. Very low temperatures. And it's also good because it highlights that water has an advantage that I didn't mention before, which is the thermal capabilities in general. So you can run your machines cooler because your heat dissipation will be better with water compared to an oil. And that will, of course, also contribute positively to energy consumption. So that is good. And if I add what was not asked there, the 100 degrees, it will boil. But we think that we can address that by finding clever ways of bringing water vapor down into the mixture again. So we think that we address both the freezing point and the boiling point, and we do maximize the benefits also from the thermal properties of water that we see.
Okay, so that will be managed then? That will be managed. All right, and let's continue. We've got another question here. How do you see the need of transmission in combination with the electrification?
I see definitely a need of transmissions in electric vehicles. It will be different types of transmissions compared to combustion engines. And I mean, we start to see already a lot of electric vehicles out there on our streets, and they all have a transmission inside them. But it's mostly a reduction gear, taking down the high RPMs from the e-motor down to the wheels. And what that means is that we are also spending far more time on just one gear, because you're not shifting gears like you do in normal transmissions, which is putting a little bit of challenge on us here in this project also. How will we handle that? It comes down to the durability aspect that I mentioned before. We think that we actually see positive effects also on that.
Okay, and we've got another question, and I think you've sort of answered that question partly, but let's address it anyway, because you might want to add something anyway. And the question is, what are the gains of using water-based lubricants?
Yeah, I think I did touch on quite a few of them, but we can repeat a few of them. I mean, we're definitely addressing any green aspect on our product, both from the fossil dependency, which is coming down, to using less energy. When you're using less energy, you get, of course, the choice as the vehicle maker. Do you want to use it for your range, or would you rather trade it in for a smaller battery? So anyhow, whichever way you decide to go, it's less material usage, which is a good thing for the environment. So I think a lot of what we're doing here is pointing to green development, sustainability, durability, and as I mentioned at the end of the day, for end users, there are those customers now, as I mentioned, fleet owners, where they are looking at pure numbers in terms of financial returns. And this have directly a positive impact on the balance sheet, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad result either, right?
No.
That's what you want.
Yes.
So if you can have the both,
yes,
why not?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think we are just in time actually to finish off. I think there might be other questions, but maybe they can get in touch.
Oh, for sure.
If there's anything they want to discuss further on.
Absolutely.
In the spirit of collaboration, etc.
Yeah. We are more than happy to receive questions and have good and fruitful discussions with people out there who may wonder what this is all about.
Perfect.
Yes.
Many thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here today.
Thank you.